What's going on, people? I'm starting the day off. I am sick as a dog. It's hard to not get sick when last week it was all in single digits and below zero weather. And then this week we have one day where it's going to be 50 degrees. That's just the weather of Chicago. Let's get to today's video. If I lose my voice, it was all for the vlog. So I'm gonna try to make this video short and sweet. Since we're in the middle of winter, there's not that many things you can do. So for this video, I'm gonna continue the tradition and give you my personal pick for 2017's top 10 albums. Looking back at my list, I have to let you know. So while making this list, even though there were some great collab and group albums like all of those, but not to take away anything from those albums. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the good part, and that's the top 10 albums. These are albums that I heard multiple times, that I sat with and listened from beginning to end, and are great pieces of art in my opinion. So coming in number 10 is Future's self-claimed album, Future. Number 9 is a new artist, came across towards the end of the year, but let me tell you, he's actually been on repeat for the last couple of weeks, and that's Devon Terrell with his album Weird Nights. Following that, number 8, which I think it should have been higher on the list, but after I saw him live in concert, the music actually took a toll. And that is the Latin star Ozuna with his album Odisea, which in English is Odyssey, which is a dope title. And I can't wait for his next album. Coming in number 7, I never thought I was going to be a fan of this man, because when he was in a group, I wasn't a fan. Since all 5 of them broke up and started doing their own solo careers, I have to put Mr. Harry Styles. That's right, the guy from One Direction. I came across the album when it first came out and Apple had it on its new releases. So I said, you know what? Let me give it a listen. What's the worst that's gonna happen? Well, let me tell you what happened. I ended up being a fan. Not only does it tell you a story, but it is some great music. Next, number 6 is the man himself. Everybody was waiting for his debut album after his fire, I'm talking about fire mixtapes. That is 21 Savage with Issa. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. And now for the top 5 album, in my opinion, of 2017. I'm sorry, people, my voice is killing me right now. I know my voice is at one tone, but that's because it hurts to talk. Coming in number 5, and I think this is another surprise pick. I don't think people would have thought that I listened to this music. I came across this album the same way I did with Harry Styles' album, which was on Apple Music. It was a new release, and I just kept hearing the kid's name. I never heard his music. The first body of work I hear from him is his album 17, and I'm gonna try to pronounce his name correct. It's XXX Tentacion. That's how I read it. I think that's how you pronounce it. This album, I want to say, came out during the summer. I might have listened to this album at least 20 times from beginning to end. It's just that good. You have to unplug yourself from radio music and just sit down and embrace the music, because it is some great music. It's number 5 in my list because overall the album is really depressing. Around July, beginning of August, when this album came out, that was the mood I was in. Number 4. Here's another album that shows you my variety and my Latin side, and that is the king of bachata himself, Romeo Santos, with his 3rd solo album, Golden. Honestly, after this album, all I want to see from this man is not only more great music, I want him to get back together with the group and just release at least one more Aventura album, because when they were together, the music they made was timeless. Alright, so now the top 3 albums of 2017. You might be surprised by my 3rd pick, because a lot of you know he is one of my favorite artists. And when I was creating this list, I wanted to put him higher just because I'm such a big fan of his. But when I listened back to the album, the way everybody was complaining that this wasn't an album, it was a playlist, and on the album itself it says a playlist by October's Firm, I couldn't put this album number 1. Even though it's filled with great songs, this is the first album that I had to sit back and realize Drake didn't put his 100%. As a supporter of him, what I think happened was his deal with Apple Music. There's something going on there. Who knows? His next album might be the classic that everybody has been waiting for. Number 2 is the one and only Kendrick Lamar. I've always been a supporter of his music, and I've always liked his music. But this album, damn, it was a phenomenal. And another one of those albums where I heard from beginning to end. This one I at least heard over 30 times. The way he collabed with, an old school DJ like Kid Capri, the ad-libs on the album were great, and what really did it for me was when I went to go see him live in concert. It was something else. It was crazy to be on floor level and look around and there be 20,000 people singing this man's song word by word. That just shows me how strong his music touches the people. Even though he's not number one, I'm telling you, him and the person I put on number one is neck and neck. And that brings me to the number one album of 2017 is one of the GOATs, Jay-Z with 444. I don't even think I have words to explain the greatness of this album. Me being 23 right now and have been a fan of him for about 12 years, it's amazing to see that this man is damn near 50 years old. To drop a classic album in my favorite genre, hip hop, he's just up there on the top by himself. This is timeless music. And I think what I appreciate the most is the honesty. I mean, sure, and previous albums you get snippets of it, but never literally from the first song all the way to the very last song. I'm telling you, I don't have words. That's why when he came on tour, I had to be present because it was my first time ever seeing him live. That alone, hell of a show. And I even said on the vlog, and I stand by it, out of all the concerts I went last year, Jay-Z was the best one. Just the performance that he put and just the fact that it's just one man. And it's inspiring to me because not only do I have a poster of him, which I'm looking at right now, that's in my room, that shows you if you put the time and effort behind what you want to be, you get there. And I'm doing that right now. So let me end it by saying, Jay-Z, thank you for the phenomenal. Thank you for such a great album. I didn't even mention the movie style videos. One of the best albums I've heard in my life so far. And with all that being said, I'll see you next week.